Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillah. Wassalatu wassalamu ala Rasulillah. Amma ba'd. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I hope you're doing well. Here I have 5 different books, inshallah, that will help an individual get a deeper understanding of Islam, starting with a book that covers the absolute essentials and basics, going into a book that I wanted to focus on the principles of following a madhhab, a madhhab in fiqh, then a book regarding the creed of a Muslim, a little bit more in depth in that regard, and 2 books on tazkiyah and spiritual perfection. So the first book I have here, inshallah, that will help us, inshallah, become a solid Muslim is Being Muslim, a Practical Guide by Asad Tarsin. Now, you may be thinking that, I already know what it means to be a Muslim. I've been Muslim all of my life, and I don't really need this book. Look how thick the book is, actually. If you look, it's almost 300 pages, about 270 pages. Now, what's really great about this book is it gives you an overview of Islam. So, yeah, you might be an individual who has studied Islam, understands Islam, has been practicing Islam for your entire life, but to have it written in such a beautiful manner, in such a way that it encompasses kind of everything you need to know on a basic level, you won't find too many books like this. It's a great intro into Islam. So if I were to just share with you kind of the chapters, the first chapter is just an intro to the book. Then he goes into essential beliefs. That's chapter 2. Chapter 3, essential ibadat. So you have like tahara, salah, Sawm, zakat, hajj, in general, how that is done with diagrams. Actually, let me show you. So diagrams for wudu, diagrams for salah, really beautifully done. The book is, really nicely put together. So I do understand that this is probably meant for new Muslims. However, a seasoned Muslim can always benefit by going over this. How would you benefit? One benefit is that by reading this, you get a better understanding of how to present Islam. So you may be able to present Islam to those who are curious about it. You already know it, but putting it into your own words. The third, or actually the 4th chapter is about tazkiyah, spiritual perfection, refinement. The 5th chapter is a biography of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, what our duties are to him sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So, indispensable aspects of the deen. The 6th chapter about the Quran. 7th chapter about, Islamic holy days. Then chapter 8 about Islamic lifestyle, etiquette, how the clothing we wear, our personal hygiene, how we utilize the restroom, our akhlaq, our character traits, etc. And then he has a section on different excerpts from the Quran. So I would actually recommend this for Muslims. If you're trying to get a deeper understanding, or just get an understanding of how to present Islam, it's a really good book. I myself want to read this book. I've gone through a little bit of it, but I want to skim through it and put it together into a program, inshallah, if Allah Ta'ala wills. So that's the first book, inshallah, that is definitely going to solidify things. Another point is that if we didn't study Islam formally, we may have been taught something when we were young and it probably was not part of the deen. It could have been an innovation, a bid'ah, or perhaps we learned something incorrectly. So studying something like this may help fix that, or at least bring up that question, and then we can go to the ulama and ask them in that regard. So that's the first book, inshallah. So it lays a good foundation regarding different aspects. All the way at the end of the book, he actually has a recommended reading list as well, different subjects and what books a person could study. And of course, this book is originally written for those people who are interested in Islam or new Muslims. So they obviously can benefit from it. The second book I have here is The Legal Status of Following a Madhhab, written by Mufti Taqi Usmani and translated by Shaykh Muhammad Amin Kulwadia. It's a brief book, about 130 pages. What this book is talking about is a concept called taqleed, following an imam. Now, I'm not saying that you have to do taqleed. There's so many people in today's time who are against taqleed, but this gives you that substantiation as to why you would do so, and it gives you answers to those people who state that, taqleed is a innovation or it's something that you're not allowed to do. Well, you'll get your answers in this book in that regard. So if you do follow a madhhab or you're interested in following a madhhab, this is not supporting a particular madhhab, although Mufti Taqi Uthmani, hafidhahullah, he's a Hanafi scholar, but this is supporting or giving arguments in favor of taqleed or following an imam in a madhhab. So all of those different types of arguments, etc. So this is, if you want to upgrade your knowledge in Islam, this is absolutely essential because fiqh is an everyday thing. You're always seeing some people in the masjid saying, okay, you should pray like this, you should fast like this is the masala for that. If you understand this concept, you will be able to understand, okay, this person is following this imam, or this person is following that madhhab, or this person is following fiqh dalil. For instance, some people, that's what they like to call it. I'm following directly from the hadith. Now, this is not the video for me to support or present arguments against that, but I'm just saying, a great book here. This is a very early edition I bought over 10 years, over maybe 15 years ago. There has to be newer editions of this. Allahu alam, I did not check myself. Now, moving on to the third book, inshallah. That first book actually dealt with Islamic creed and aqidah in a very brief format. This book is going to go into it in a detailed format. And this is called The Creed of Imam Bayhaqi. And it's an abridged translation of Al-I'tiqad wal-Hidayah ila Sabili Rashad of Al-Imam al-Bayhaqi. So Imam al-Bayhaqi is a very famous muhaddith, a great scholar. He was Ash'ari, but he is a Shafi'i muhaddith, very famous for his hadith books. He compiled the hadith that are the proofs for the aqaid of the Ash'aris. So this book goes into more detail in terms of aqidah. He's going to give you a particular chapter. For instance, chapter 1, the first obligation to be known and approved. Now, the brothers and sisters of the Salafi manhaj, they don't agree with this, first obligation aspect, but there's going to be a majority of things that they will agree with. Right? A majority of the book they're going to agree with. For instance, chapter 12, the beatific vision. The fact that we will see Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the hereafter. He's not bringing in rationale, he's not bringing in ilm al-kalam. And a lot of people that have an issue with ilm al-kalam. To each their own. Here he brings the textual proofs for everything. So this is really beneficial for a person just really trying to understand their deen a little bit more deeper. And, for instance, chapter 23, the punishment of the grave. Really great book here. Nice edition by Turath Publishing. You can visit them at turath.co.uk. All right, so that's book number 3, to get a deeper understanding of ilm al-aqidah. So, I gave you a book for every, general aspects of Islam, a book regarding the foundations of fiqh, a book regarding the foundations of belief, and now, inshallah, the last 2 books are going to deal with tazkiyah and spirituality. The first book I want to share with you is a really great book, extremely concise. You could even read this in a day or 2. And it's very beautifully put together. It's titled Spiritual Development and the Pursuit of Excellence, written by Shaykh Husain Abdul Sattar. Shaykh Husain Abdul Sattar. It's not a very large book, if you were to compare with Al-I'tiqad wal-Hidayah, as you can see. It's like not a pocket size, but a little bit larger than that. Beautiful ikhraj, It's paperback, but it's really nice, well done. This can be purchased on the Sacred Learning website. I purchased it there. So this book goes into the core and the foundations of tazkiyah. It's a very simple book, but it covers all of the necessary things a person who wants to tread the path of suluk and tazkiyah, what things they should understand. So, like, what is the position of spirituality in Islam? Why do we need tazkiyah? And how it's, like, tied into Islam itself. It's not something new. It's part of the deen. Certain adab that we need to have, certain diseases of the heart, certain, the importance of loving Allah Ta'ala, of His deen, following the way of Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, having a mentor, all of those different things. Here, you guys can actually just pause it and see the table of contents there. Really great book. Brief. So that is regarding, just the foundations of tazkiyah in a very simple format. And he writes very lucid and clearly, and it's easy to understand. The last book here. It's a really nice book. It's a commentary written by Shaykh Hamza Yusuf, Hafidhahullah Ta'ala. It's a commentary on Madhharatul Qulub of al-Imam al-Mawlud. And it's titled Purification of the Heart. So I actually have, I printed out Madhharatul Qulub. I wanted to memorize it. I never got to it. It's about, let's see, so this is, the matan. I print it out, and, I just have this kind of cover thing that I bought, and then I just slide it in this. So for books that I can't find, I'll just print them out, and then I'll put them in these kind of things. So this is a poem written by al-Imam al-Mawlud, or al-Imam Mawlud, who passed away in 1323 Hijri, so not too long ago. And there's around 300, more than 300, 384 lines of poetry. So just, flipping to a random page, you guys can see the poem here. So this is meant to be memorized, and it's really nice because he's very straight to the point, and he gives you like the spiritual melodies in alif ba order, the Arabic alphabetical order. So you'll have like whatever spiritual melodies there are in order of the alphabet. So you'll have bukhl or greed first, and then you'll have a disease starting with ta or jim. So Shaykh Hamza Yusuf Hafidhullah, he has done a commentary of it. So for instance, you have love of the world, hubbud dunya, so ha, and he will translate the poem. As you can see here, this is a translation of the poem that I just shared with you, and then over here he starts his commentary. So this is a really good book. It defines the diseases, how you can purify yourself from those diseases. Take a look at vanity. These are the poems, the lines of poetry that are translated of Imam Mawlud's book, and then Shaykh Hamza Yusuf's translation and discussion there. So inshallah, it's hoped with these books, inshallah, you will be able to understand your deen better. You first solidify that foundation. You develop a stronger foundation in reliance or the lack of reliance. Like if you don't follow a madhhab, at least you understand the other side's argument. And then you can, develop that discussion further on. Then an aspect of creed from the Quran and Sunnah, and thereafter books on tazkiyah and spiritual perfection. I hope this was of some benefit to you. If you benefited, please leave a comment, give a thumbs up, share with your friends, family, anyone who is interested, and consider subscribing if this is your first time on the channel. Jazakumullahu khairan. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.